Ladies and gentlemen, here is a powerful truth to begin with. Sometimes the only road to your highest self is the one that forces you to walk through the fire you once prayed to avoid. The idea that going through hell is not a punishment but a passage to a higher version of yourself is one of the most empowering shifts a person can make in their thinking. When you face hardship, loss, disappointment, or deep emotional struggle, it can be easy to believe that life is unfair or that you are being targeted by circumstances beyond your control. Yet difficulties do not arrive to destroy your spirit. They arrive to awaken parts of you that could never emerge without pressure, heat, or challenge. Every person who has ever grown into a stronger, wiser version of themselves has done so by walking through moments that tested their patience, stretched their courage, and broke old patterns that no longer aligned with who they were becoming. These intense phases of life feel like hell because they tear away comfort, familiarity, and illusions, but what remains afterward is something more authentic, more powerful, and more aligned with your true nature. When you reframe struggle as a passage, the entire emotional landscape shifts. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to wonder, "What is this trying to shape within me?" This single shift turns suffering into schooling. It turns pain into purpose. It transforms you from a victim of circumstances into an active participant in your own evolution. Even moments that feel unbearable carry seeds of awakening, but you only discover their meaning once you move through them with awareness instead of resistance. The fire you fear is often the fire designed to clear the debris that has been blocking your path, old doubts, old beliefs, old stories about who you are and what you're capable of. Every challenge reveals a new layer of inner strength, a deeper capacity for resilience, and a higher understanding of what truly matters. When life strips you of everything you leaned on for certainty, it forces you to meet yourself in a way you never have before. You learn that your value is not defined by what you lose, that your identity is not tied to circumstances, and that your spirit is far stronger than the situations that try to break it. Going through hell is often where people discover their voice, their clarity, their compassion, and their inner authority. It is where they stop living from fear and begin living from truth. The journey through difficulty becomes a sacred passage because it transports you from who you were into who you are meant to become. The idea that life's fires burn away what no longer serves your growth is a profound reminder that challenges are not random attacks on your peace, but intentional forces that refine you. In the same way, a blacksmith uses intense heat to shape and strengthen metal. Life uses pressure, discomfort, and adversity to remove old layers that no longer align with your evolution. Many of the beliefs, habits, fears, and attachments we carry were formed in earlier stages of life, often unconsciously, and they create limits we don't always see. But when life places you in situations that feel like fire run, expected loss, emotional pain, uncertainty, or drastic change, these moments illuminate what you've outgrown. They show you the parts of yourself that have been holding you back, even if you didn't realize it. What feels like destruction is often a deep cleansing, clearing space for who you are becoming. Fire does not politely ask what you're ready to release. It exposes everything at once. When you are pushed into uncomfortable situations, you begin to see what patterns no longer work. Maybe it's an unhealthy relationship, a limiting belief about your worth, a fear of taking risks, or an identity shaped by other people's expectations. Life's fires bring these unconscious patterns to the surface so you can finally recognize them. The discomfort you feel is the friction between who you were and who you are meant to be. You are not being punished, you are being transformed. You are not losing pieces of yourself, you are shedding layers that were weighing your spirit down. The burning away process can be painful because it asks you to let go of what once felt familiar or safe. But safety is not always growth, and comfort is not always truth. Many times you cling to things simply because they are known, not because they are right for your life. When life turns up the heat, it forces you to confront this truth. The fire exposes your strength, your clarity, and your resilience, but only after it clears away the illusions that kept you small. You begin to see what your heart truly desires rather than what your fears allowed you to settle for. You start understanding your value, your intuition, and your power with greater depth. Life's fires purify your path by removing distractions, illusions, and self-imposed limitation. They take away what blocks your potential, leaving behind a clearer, stronger, more aligned version of you. Each challenge carves away what is temporary, so that what is eternal within you can rise. The concept that pain is an invitation to transformation is one of the most empowering perspectives you can adopt in life. Most people instinctively recoil from pain, seeing it as a negative force to avoid, numb, or escape. Yet, pain is not merely a random misfortune. It is a signal, a teacher, and a guide. When you experience emotional, physical, or spiritual discomfort, it is life's way of showing you areas that require attention, growth, and awakening. Pain highlights where your boundaries have been crossed, where your attachments have limited you, or where your beliefs no longer serve the person you are becoming. Instead of resisting it, leaning into pain allows you to listen to the messages it carries. Each ache, loss, or hardship contains within it a lesson that can elevate your consciousness, expand your resilience, and deepen your understanding of yourself. When approached consciously, pain becomes a mirror reflecting your inner state. It uncovers hidden fears, unresolved emotions, and unconscious patterns that have shaped your choices. Many people move through life superficially, never examining the subtle ways that past hurts influence their present. Pain, however, forces introspection. It pushes you to confront your shadow, the parts of yourself you may have denied, ignored, or judged, and encourages integration and healing. Through this process, what once seemed like suffering is transformed into insight, wisdom, and clarity. It is the refining fire that melts away rigidity, self-limiting beliefs, and illusions about control, leaving a more authentic, adaptable, and empowered version of yourself. Furthermore, pain teaches the value of compassion, empathy, and humility. When you have felt the depths of struggle, you gain the ability to understand and connect with the struggles of others on a profoundly human level. This awareness is transformative not only personally, but in the way you engage with the world. Pain challenges you to shift from fear-based reactions to purpose-driven responses. It encourages courage because enduring difficulty cultivates trust in your own strength, perseverance, and inner guidance. You begin to recognize that suffering is not the enemy, stagnation is the enemy. Avoiding pain keeps you stuck, while embracing it propels you forward. Ultimately, pain is an initiation into a higher level of being. Every hardship, heartbreak, or obstacle contains the blueprint for your next stage of growth. Transformation is not about erasing pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It is about acknowledging it, learning from it, and allowing it to shape a stronger, wiser, and more compassionate version of yourself. The invitation is always there. It is up to you to accept it or resist it. But those who accept it discover that the deepest lessons and the most profound personal evolution are born through the very experiences they once wished to avoid. The idea that avoiding pain prevents true change is one of the most important lessons for personal growth and transformation. Many people spend their lives running from discomfort, whether it's emotional, physical, or spiritual, because pain feels threatening, destabilizing, or simply unbearable. We instinctively want comfort, certainty, and safety, and so we distract ourselves, numb ourselves, or convince ourselves that the difficult experiences we face are meaningless. Yet, when we avoid pain, we also avoid the opportunity to confront the truths about ourselves that only hardship can reveal. True change requires movement through difficulty, not around it. When you sidestep discomfort, you may experience temporary relief, but the underlying patterns, beliefs, or limitations that need transformation remain untouched, quietly shaping your decisions, reactions, and future experiences. Avoidance may feel safe in the short term, but it prevents the kind of deep, lasting growth that only emerges from facing challenges directly. Pain is often a doorway, and avoidance keeps the door closed. When you confront what is uncomfortable, you create the possibility for insight, clarity, and a shift in perspective. Every moment of struggle carries a lesson that can reveal your resilience, your courage, and your capacity for adaptation. When you refuse to engage with the difficulties of life, you deny yourself the chance to access these lessons. In effect, pain becomes wasted energy, an experience that leaves you unchanged because it has not been fully understood or integrated. Transformation demands that you allow the discomfort to move through you, that you examine it honestly, and that you respond with awareness rather than fear. Each time you face pain instead of avoiding it, you build inner strength, emotional intelligence, and a deeper connection to your authentic self. Avoiding pain also fosters stagnation. Life has a natural rhythm of growth, challenge, and renewal, and when we attempt to bypass the necessary challenges, we disrupt this rhythm. We may cling to old habits, remain in unfulfilling situations, or repeat the same mistakes because the discomfort that would force change is avoided. Pain, as difficult as it feels, is a catalyst. It ignites action, reflection, and ultimately transformation. When approached consciously, it helps dissolve limiting beliefs, fear-based decisions, and unhealthy attachments, replacing them with wisdom, self-awareness, and empowerment. The discomfort you resist today is often the very force that could propel you into a stronger, more authentic, and more liberated version of yourself tomorrow. Those who embrace their struggles rather than flee from them consistently discover that growth and lasting change are found not in comfort, but in the willingness to face what challenges them most directly. The idea that struggles reveal a new layer of inner strength and help you discover who you truly are is central to personal growth and self-realization. Life inevitably presents obstacles, challenges, and periods of uncertainty that test your patience, resilience, and faith in yourself. While these moments often feel uncomfortable, overwhelming, or even unfair, they are powerful opportunities to explore the depths of your character and uncover abilities you may not have known existed. Every time you face a difficult situation, you are confronted with choices: to give in to fear, to remain passive, or to rise and meet the challenge. It is in these moments that your true nature begins to emerge. The struggles act like a mirror, reflecting not only your limitations, but also the untapped courage, resourcefulness, and endurance that reside within you. They invite you to move beyond superficial understandings of yourself and connect with a deeper, more authentic identity. Struggles also expose the beliefs, habits, and patterns that no longer serve you. When life pressures you, you are forced to confront truths that may have been hidden beneath comfort, routine, or avoidance. In this process, you gain clarity about who you really are and what truly matters. You discover values that withstand adversity, strengths that were dormant until tested, and perspectives that only emerge under pressure. The pain or difficulty you experience is not simply an obstacle to be endured. It is a teacher showing you the parts of yourself that need attention, growth, or transformation. Each challenge, no matter how small or large, is an opportunity to examine your responses, refine your mindset, and cultivate resilience. As you navigate through struggles, you also develop a sense of empowerment that cannot be achieved through ease or comfort. Enduring hardship reveals the depth of your willpower, determination, and ability to adapt. You come to understand that the limitations you once believed defined you are not fixed. They are meant to be challenged and expanded. Struggles shape your character, sharpen your perspective, and deepen your emotional intelligence. They allow you to connect more authentically with yourself and with others, fostering empathy, patience, and wisdom. Over time, you begin to see that challenges are not random misfortunes, but integral steps in the journey toward becoming your fullest self. They illuminate the path to self-discovery by forcing you to confront reality, overcome fear, and recognize the untapped reserves of strength within you, ultimately showing that the most profound growth often emerges from the trials you once feared. The idea that loss often leads you to what you truly need rather than what you once wanted is a profound principle that reshapes how we perceive life's challenges. From a young age, many of us are conditioned to believe that getting what we desire is the ultimate goal. That fulfillment comes from achieving our dreams exactly as we imagined them. Yet life has a different kind of wisdom. Sometimes the very things we cling to, relationships, possessions, positions, or identities, do not align with our highest path. Losing them can feel devastating, leaving a void that seems unbearable in the moment. But loss, painful as it is, often functions as a divine redirection, guiding you toward what is truly necessary for your growth, happiness, and purpose. It strips away illusions and attachments that may have seemed essential, allowing space for clarity, freedom, and alignment with your deepest needs. When something is taken from you, it forces reflection. You begin to question why you held on, whether your attachments were based on fear, habit, or societal expectations, and what you are truly seeking beneath the surface. Often, what we thought we wanted was temporary, surface-level satisfaction, or a construct designed by others' standards of success and happiness. The loss reveals the difference between what gratifies the ego and what nourishes the soul. This awakening allows you to recognize needs that are more enduring: peace, purpose, authenticity, love that is unconditional, and connection with yourself. In this way, loss is not merely an end. It is a powerful teacher pointing you toward what is essential. Moreover, loss cultivates resilience, wisdom, and trust in the natural unfolding of life. When we cling to what is gone, we experience suffering compounded by resistance. But when we allow the loss to guide us, we begin to trust that life's unfolding is leading us to a place of greater alignment. We realize that the absence we feel may be making room for opportunities, relationships, and experiences that better serve our true path. This realization transforms grief into gratitude, despair into hope, and disappointment into insight. We start to see that life is rarely about holding on to what we want. It is about receiving what we truly need to evolve, grow, and awaken. Loss, though uncomfortable and often painful, becomes a bridge to deeper understanding. It is nature's way of recalibrating our direction, helping us release what no longer serves us and preparing us to embrace what will. In surrendering attachments to fleeting desires, we open ourselves to experiences that nurture our soul and align with our higher purpose, often in ways we could never have imagined before the letting go. This process teaches us that what we once wanted may have been a lesson, but what we truly need is the path to our authentic, empowered, and fulfilled self. The idea that challenges forge strength, wisdom, and resilience is one of the most essential truths in personal growth. Life inevitably presents obstacles, hardships, and moments of uncertainty that test our limits in ways we cannot predict. While it is natural to resist difficulty or wish for an easier path, it is precisely through facing these challenges that we develop the qualities that define our character. Strength is not built in comfort. It is revealed in moments of struggle when you are forced to rely on your inner resources. Every difficulty, no matter how small or large, demands a response. The way you meet these moments shapes your resilience and teaches you how to navigate future challenges with greater confidence and composure. Wisdom emerges from the lessons embedded within adversity. Each challenge carries a message about yourself, your relationships, or the world around you. When approached consciously, obstacles become opportunities for insight and reflection. They reveal what is truly important, what is temporary, and what is unnecessary. They teach patience, perspective, and discernment. Often, the very hardships we resist contain the guidance we need to grow. In confronting them, we develop an understanding of cause and effect, learn to evaluate our choices more clearly, and recognize patterns that previously went unnoticed. Wisdom is not something bestowed upon us automatically. It is earned through experience, reflection, and the willingness to face life's tests with courage. Resilience, the ability to recover and adapt, is perhaps the most valuable gift of facing challenges. When life pushes you down, resilience allows you to rise again, stronger and more capable than before. It teaches endurance, perseverance, and flexibility. Those who embrace challenges understand that setbacks are temporary, not permanent defeats. Each time you overcome a hardship, you reinforce the belief in your ability to withstand adversity, which in turn empowers you to take on future challenges with greater confidence. Over time, resilience becomes a foundational part of your character, equipping you to navigate life's inevitable uncertainties with steadiness and hope. Furthermore, challenges refine your sense of identity and purpose. They strip away superficial desires, distractions, and illusions, leaving you with a clearer understanding of your priorities and values. Strength, wisdom, and resilience are not abstract qualities. They are practical tools for living a life of purpose, authenticity, and fulfillment. By facing difficulty rather than avoiding it, you cultivate these attributes and emerge as a more grounded, capable, and self-aware individual. Each trial becomes a crucible, shaping you into someone who can respond to life's complexities with confidence, insight, and unwavering resolve, ultimately demonstrating that adversity is not the enemy, but the essential force that molds your character and potential. The concept that hell is not a place to stay, but a place you pass through is a powerful perspective that transforms the way we experience life's most difficult moments. Often, when people face extreme challenges, pain, or suffering, they perceive it as a permanent state, a punishment, or an identity they must carry. This perception can trap them in despair, hopelessness, or resentment. Yet hell, whether it manifests as emotional turmoil, loss, fear, or hardship, is never meant to be a final destination. It is a transitional phase, a passage designed to move you from one state of being to another. The intensity of struggle can feel consuming, but the key lies in understanding that suffering is temporary and serves a greater purpose. To catalyze growth, awaken insight, and reveal the inner resources necessary to emerge stronger. When you begin to see hell as a passage rather than a place, your relationship with difficulty changes. Instead of resisting or fearing it, you can approach challenges with curiosity and courage, recognizing that each trial contains lessons and opportunities for transformation. Hell tests the strength of your character, the depth of your patience, and the resilience of your spirit. It exposes the aspects of yourself that require attention, healing, or evolution. By engaging with the experience rather than denying it, you gain clarity about what truly matters, learn to release what no longer serves you, and uncover the power you have to navigate adversity. The understanding that hell is temporary allows you to endure it with a sense of purpose, knowing that this passage is preparing you for something greater on the other side. Moreover, passing through hell encourages self-discovery and authenticity. Life often removes comfort, certainty, and control to show us who we really are when stripped of external supports. It reveals the depths of courage, determination, and faith that reside within, qualities that can only be discovered under pressure. Those who move through hell without clinging to it emerge with a profound understanding of their values, priorities, and purpose. They recognize that suffering is not an endpoint, but a catalyst, a teacher guiding them toward alignment with their true self. Hell challenges complacency, illuminates the illusions that hinder growth, and clears the path for personal evolution. Understanding hell as a passage also fosters gratitude and perspective. Experiencing hardship allows us to appreciate moments of peace, joy, and connection with greater depth. It teaches empathy and compassion as we better understand the struggles of others. By viewing difficult experiences as temporary and purposeful, we shift from seeing life as something to endure to seeing it as a journey that shapes our character and prepares us for higher levels of awareness, resilience, and fulfillment. This perspective transforms suffering from a prison into a crucible that forges strength, wisdom, and clarity, ultimately showing that the darkest moments are temporary gateways to growth, awakening, and empowerment. The principle that trusting the process, even when the path feels painful or confusing, is essential for personal growth, is one of the most profound lessons in life. Often, when we encounter difficulties, setbacks, or uncertainty, our immediate reaction is to resist, question, or demand control over the situation. We want answers, solutions, or immediate relief, and when these do not appear, we feel frustrated, anxious, or defeated. Yet, life unfolds according to a rhythm and wisdom that is often beyond our immediate understanding. Trusting the process means believing that every challenge, every obstacle, and every moment of discomfort is part of a larger design intended to guide you toward growth, insight, and alignment with your highest potential. It is a commitment to faith in your journey, even when the road is steep, unclear, or filled with unexpected twists. Trusting the process requires patience, courage, and surrender. It means acknowledging that while you may not see the full picture, every experience contributes to your evolution. Pain and confusion often act as signals, pointing you toward lessons you need to learn, strengths you need to develop, and clarity you have yet to uncover. When you resist these experiences, you prolong suffering and create unnecessary tension. But when you surrender to the journey and trust that each step is meaningful, you align yourself with the flow of life, allowing transformation to occur naturally. This trust is not passive, it is an active engagement with life, an intentional openness to learn, grow, and adapt in response to whatever arises. Moreover, trusting the process teaches resilience and faith in your own capacity. Life's challenges often push us beyond our perceived limits, revealing inner strengths, resourcefulness, and wisdom we did not know we possessed. Each trial becomes a teacher, and each setback a stepping stone toward a more empowered self. Trusting the process allows you to navigate uncertainty with grace, knowing that even when you cannot see the outcome, every experience serves a purpose. It cultivates patience, humility, and confidence as you learn to release the need for immediate control and embrace the unfolding of life as it is meant to happen. This trust also shifts your perspective on failure, disappointment, and delay. Instead of seeing obstacles as punishment or signs of inadequacy, you begin to see them as necessary components of growth, refining your character, sharpening your judgment, and deepening your understanding of yourself and the world. Trusting the process transforms fear into faith, confusion into clarity, and struggle into opportunity, allowing you to move forward with courage, purpose, and a deep assurance that life, even in its most challenging moments, is guiding you exactly where you need to be. It reminds you that each step, no matter how difficult, is part of a larger, meaningful journey toward fulfillment, wisdom, and self-realization. The idea that when you rise from the fire, you emerge stronger, awakened, and unstoppable is a profound truth about human resilience and transformation. Life inevitably places obstacles, challenges, and painful experiences in our path, often testing the very limits of our endurance. These moments can feel overwhelming, as if they are designed to break us, leaving us doubting our abilities and questioning our purpose. Yet the reality is that these trials are not meant to destroy us. They are meant to shape us, to refine our character, and to awaken the strength and wisdom that lie dormant within. The fire of struggle, whether emotional, physical, or spiritual, acts as a crucible, melting away fear, doubt, and limitation, leaving behind a version of ourselves that is more aligned with our true potential. Emerging from adversity stronger does not mean that the pain disappears. Rather, it means that you have learned to harness the experience and integrate its lessons into your life. Each hardship, setback, or trial reveals capabilities you may not have known you possessed, from resilience and courage to patience and creativity. When you face difficulty intentionally and with awareness, you begin to recognize your inner power, the capacity to navigate uncertainty, adapt to change, and persevere despite obstacles. This strength is not superficial. It is forged through experience, tested in the heat of challenge, and proven by your ability to continue moving forward. The fire does not just test you. It trains you to rise higher than you ever imagined possible. Awakening comes as you move through the lessons embedded in struggle. Challenges illuminate truths about yourself, your values, and your purpose. They show you what truly matters, stripping away distractions, illusions, and attachments that may have clouded your vision. In this awakening, you gain clarity, insight, and perspective that are unavailable in times of comfort and ease. You begin to understand your potential in a more expansive way, realizing that you are capable of more than you previously believed. Each trial becomes a teacher, guiding you to a deeper understanding of yourself and your connection to life. Becoming unstoppable is the culmination of strength and awakening. Once you have endured, learned, and integrated the lessons of the fire, you move through life with confidence, determination, and a sense of purpose that cannot be shaken by external circumstances. You are no longer easily deterred by fear, doubt, or failure, because you have experienced first, and the power of your own resilience. This unstoppable nature is not arrogance, but a grounded certainty in your ability to navigate life's challenges and fulfill your potential. It is the proof that the fire you walked through was never meant to consume you, but to propel you into the fullness of your power, awareness, and limitless capability.